ago, but now it's in over 12 nations now with people who are part of the network, who are making a difference in their various communities, economic development, educational enrichment, community empowerment, and stories. And I thought that's when you need light the more. Goal in this Light360 broadcast is to just talk to people whose lights are shining now. They tell their stories. We use it to encourage people, and then we take it from there. Last Friday, some days ago, we had a very wonderful discussion with the team from South Africa, the Leading Lights team from South Africa. It was such a wonderful discussion just to hear about how the Leading Lights training has influenced them and what they are doing at this time in working out their purpose. So that's what this is about. We're going to come up at this time, if not, daily, but if not daily, every other day, but we'll be up here and you will get the notification. We'll put up something to let you know when we're coming up. On Friday, we're going to be having a wonderful panel, another wonderful panel with people from another nation. So we had people from South Africa this last Friday. This upcoming Friday, we're going to have from another nation, and you know about them because we put it up. So today, we're having a discussion about making a difference at this time. And the discussion is going to be with somebody that is very dear to me. His name is Ijiwola Ojo. We call him AJ for short. So I'm going to be calling him AJ. So I'm waiting on him to come online right now. So as soon as he comes online, we will begin the discussion. But while we're waiting for AJ to show up, please let me know if you are here. Post something to let me know that you are here. Like this. We're also simulcasting this thing right now. Okay, AJ is here. We're also casting. Also on the Live Development Center page, we're on my page, Dr. Gregory Lan Ijiwola on Facebook. We're on the City Light International Assembly page on Facebook. So there are so many. We're also on my YouTube channel at this time now, simultaneously. So there are so many ways you can join us and in this discussion. So AJ is here, as you can see him, is sipping some tea. What are you sipping, AJ?
Green tea.
Green tea. That's nice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, I like green tea too. Tea is good for us. So Definitely. How are you doing today, AJ? It's good to see you. You're looking good.
Pastor, thanks. I'm blessed. I can't complain. We thank God for everything. This is it's about keeping it real and just being ourselves authentically. I was like, let me show people what my eyes look like. See, because some people probably think I'm lying. Okay.
It's good to see. It's good to see your eyes.
Yeah, definitely.
Excited. It's on rare occasions that you can see your eyes. So I'm so blessed to see your eyes.
Very rare. So it's only you that can get me out there.
All right. So everybody, this is AJ Ijiwola Ojo. I've known him for some years. This is a wonderful man. I mean, he's a great man. He's a great man. I love him, and I truly believe in him. He's a man with a vision. He's a man with a servant heart. He's a man, who wants to help people, who wants to bless people. He's always on the lookout for how to lift somebody up, and he uses everything that he has sacrificially to get things done. I remember Chicago to New Jersey, needed to drive all the way from Chicago to New Jersey, take all their loads and their family and all that. And I just called AJ. I was like, this person needs help. AJ went and got a van and drove them all the way to New Jersey from Chicago.
In the storm.
The snowstorm. Man, and then drove back to Chicago again. So AJ is an angel. He's somebody that one needs to listen to, and I'm so glad I'm privileged to have you here today, AJ.
The funny thing is you were talking about that, and I was thinking, I drove through the storm and came back, nothing happened. And then over here, when I'm not even in the storm, is when I got a little accident. So we thank God for
it. God.
14 hours. The windshield was not even working for the first 8, 9 hours because we couldn't get it to work. So just imagine we were pouring water on the side from outside. The water's pouring over me. People in the back giving me water. We're just
By yourself. So who's AJ? Before we get into the
oh
discussion.
wow, yes. For everybody watching, even tomorrow I'll get a little bit more personal. But my name is Ijiwola Ojo. I am currently with the Life Development Center. I'm a representative of the City Light Church, and I have my background is in leadership. So I have my master's in organizational leadership, my bachelor's in small business of the arts, and I'm working on a Ph.D. in the same line of work as within leadership. And so I've been doing a lot of different things in that area for a little while. I worked at the Union League Boys and Girls Club. I was the area director over there for a while. So we were able to get 4 schools in there with, after school programming. So I'm very, very proud of that. That's the inner city of Chicago. If you know anything about Inglewood, it's one of the hardest areas. And I was responsible for over 600 kids every night, just making sure that every kid made it home safe every day, and they had a good programming system that was in place for them. So we thank God for that. I have a real estate background, and I just have a lot of different backgrounds, and it goes a long way. So as we continue the conversation, I'll give you guys a little bit more.
Just before we go on, for those of you watching us on Facebook, on the different pages, or on YouTube, unfortunately, we are focused on this Instagram. So I'm sure there are people that are monitoring anything, any comments, that you make and all that. So we will hope to be able to get those comments and be able to address it in this conversation. But we just want to welcome you all from the different platforms. Yeah. So AJ, thanks for introducing yourself. So some years ago, you went through the Leading Lights training. What led to that, and we'll talk a little more about the Leading Lights training. It's organized by I talked about it earlier, by the LDC. So what happened? What was the story for you?
Well, it was all God. Okay, so for me, even the story started way before I even started coming to your church. And, I was going to Johnny, but I'm not. I just kept hearing this. I don't know where it was coming from, but something was telling me that I needed to go to a smaller church where I can just render my services. And I didn't understand it. I just kept hearing this. And so I was like, you know what church would it be? And then, just something just kept leading me to the Leading Lights. I have a lot of people that I know within the Leading Lights culture that are doing very well. So I've seen them over the years going to that church. So I was swimming one day at a pool, and then I ran into a young lady by the name of Ruby. We were both swimming, and we just started talking because you know how Ruby is. And from that point on, she was like, I go to this church. I'm like, you go to that church? Okay, so let me come to City Light. And I started coming from when I walked in the first day, and I heard you preach. And I was like, this is weird because the person talking doesn't sounded like my professor in like.
I don't know if that's a compliment.
Like, yes, no, seriously, because you were talking about principles and values and virtues, and it wasn't necessarily just the way I was, I take preaching. So I'm like, and you're using the kind of terminologies that I would use because I know your background is in leadership too. So I'm like, this is somebody that I really need to get. And I know I did some research, found out you have your PhD when we have similar backgrounds. So I'm like, this is somebody. But the message was so amazing, and I just stayed. And from that point on, I started going, and I heard about the Leading Lights, and I'm like, oh, let me go into the Leading Lights. And we started that Leading Lights program, and from the beginning of it, it was just life-changing for me. It literally transformed my life. And at that point, I'm in my 40s, so I've seen it all. I have background in the military and every single thing. So I've kind of been around the world. I've seen things. So when I got there, and you were talking about God's purpose, and then you were talking about lining that up without finding out what your purpose is. And just the words were just hitting me so much because I've always been somebody that was driven by purpose, but I just couldn't put it in a box. I didn't understand how to put everything in but with the way you put it together and the way I think, you were talking about aligning my purpose with God's purpose. And while I was here, why are you here on earth? Every single person that's here is here for a certain reason. And you had this thing that you did. We were talking about the value system. And in the value system, you broke down, we got to sit down and talk about every single thing that we want to achieve and we feel like it's connected to our purpose. And you were like, hey, if you don't, every day of your life has to be done doing these things. You have to move. And anytime you're outside of those systems, that means you're being distracted. Somebody have called you to say, hey, come to the club or do this and that. And you're like, that's not part of the system, the value system that I put. Because on it, for me, I had entertainment, I had real estate, I had, community empowerment, I had community development, I had all those things. So I had to make sure that every single task I was doing every day has to be within those. So those things just stayed with me the whole time. And it just helped me now and while I was there, I figured out what the purpose was as a human being, because not everywhere where you go to, I think human beings have been conditioned to look at life from more of a business perspective. Whereas it's like if you go to work, you're like, okay, this is a business. I'm going to go to work. And so business, you read up the mission statement of the business. You see what the vision of the business is. But I've never really seen anybody prepare people individually. Like, what is your mission statement? What's your personal purpose? What's your personal vision in life? Yeah. And so and that goes into my social science thinking, because that's my background is always in self. It's in you. It's embedded in self and helping build people up. So the companies they work in terms of you trying to help build them up. But who's building you up? I always looked at every human being as an investment, as a stock. I don't look at the stock that they have in the stock market. I look at human beings as the people that we're supposed to be investing in. So all of that just paid attention, just came to me. And it was just one of the most transformative experiences of my life, honestly. And I encourage anybody that's never taken the Leading Lights training. And this training has gone over to 12 nations. And every single thing that I wrote down on my with my vision board, and every single thing that I wrote down, even in my portfolio that we were doing, I can assure you, in one way or the other, those things came true. Yeah. Now, in life, we look at things as, the magnitude. You're not at the highest level yet. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. You have to look at your life and see everything you're doing right now, even though it might seem small. But the fact is, you're actually in the process of doing every single thing. So everything I wrote down, including the economic family we're going to talk about, including SPICEE that we're doing, including Union League, everything I was doing down there, everything I wrote down will just start to come to pass. Not just that. When I was at the Union League Boys and Girls Club, I actually went there because I was working on my Ph.D. and I wanted to study. So I needed a part-time job to get me going. And while I was there, and it was the same Ruby that got me into the company. So while I was there, I was sitting down and I'm like, just doing my stuff, my everyday. After I took Leading Lights, it hit me what my purpose was right there and then. Because when I went back to work the next Monday, as a young Black man, being able to be a role model for children that are coming in to the Inglewood community, for him to be able to see a stand-up guy that speaks well, that dresses well, and just represent them. I didn't even. Yes, Inglewood, Chicago.
Text.
Yes, so I'll tell you guys, Inglewood is it's in the inner city of Chicago. It's covers from like 55th all the way to 95th. And it used to be an old industrial area, but things happened within this community and it just got transformed. So to becoming one of the most disenfranchised, most disadvantaged and underserved communities in Chicago. So it's the area where the people that need help the most live. So these are people that really need to see, they're not used to seeing role models, especially role models of their own, and being able to represent it in those kind of lights. Somebody that's coming in to make sure that everything is working out well for them, getting them 12 different programs, high-tech programs from computer to any kind of system, to dancing, to cheerleading, to the art programs, to storytelling, to music. So we at that program, I learned a lot, and I was able to use what I learned after I discovered what my purpose was, and I understood that it was really about building people. I realized that I have a B in my name, and the B is for bridge building. And it just, this is something I've been doing my whole life. It's just not now. Anybody that knows AJ will be able to say, hey, but I was never able to put it in a package. You understand? To say, okay, this is really who I am. This was just something I did just because as a human being, that's how I was made up, to always to serve and to help people and to try to develop the next generation. But once I got there, it hit me that this is something that I can kind of like focus the rest of my life on and base everything within it that I was doing on. So God just opened up a lot of floodways. And in a year and a half after discovering my purpose, I went on to becoming the area director. We opened up 3 new schools, and then, I had a team of over 50 staff. And God just opened up so many things in the Inglewood community for me, and then I had to now, figure out after being done with that and finish that mission, God was like, I have something else for you to do. And this is time for you so I took a break from the Union League Boys and Girls Club to figure out what I was going to do next. So he said, no, I have something else for you to do. And I'm trying to figure out what it was. And while I'm going through life, he hit me that mission was tied to the Life Development Center, and what it is the Union League. I saw the way they worked as a nonprofit organization, and I worked with them on the highest level. Honestly, I was able to do donors, people that used to come in to give donations. They would come into our summer camp. Where they're done, they'll be crying. Because the thing about me is I like to tell stories, and I like to make sure that everybody that worked with me, and even all the kids, they know me. I'm the one I always had food in my locker. I always have stuff for them. I was always giving out stuff to them all the time. So when they came in there, I was able to, when they walked in, everybody walked in to see, they've never seen any of this. I wanted them to be able to see that in the south side of Chicago, all kinds of diverse programming. And these kids, not just that, these kids will be interested in these programs. If it's, you might think coding is too advanced for them. That's not the case. These kids were so interested in doing coding and everything. So while I was there, just so many things was able to come to life. And I was just happy that God, and then I came back, I was like, okay, let me do the development center. And once I came in there, you and I have a lot of discussions about, and it hit me that this is the next step for me, because now I get to, instead of working for a big corporation, why not start your things? Not trying to say anything about them, but they're not church-based. And they don't have the foundation we have with the church and the kingdom, as I always speak. Yeah. So it's always good to have a solid foundation, based on something with a church, and be able to grow from that part on. So
yeah,
I hope
thanks. Very good. Very good. Nice introduction of yourself. So everybody watching us again, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching us, we have on the Light360 chats today, Ijiwola, aka AJ. So AJ just told us about his experience coming in contact with the Leading Lights training, which is organized by the Light Development Center here in Chicago. And he just talked about how he discovered his purpose, his life got turned around, and just the different things that began to happen after then, including, going into Inglewood, the community in Chicago, and just getting, ministering to youth in there kids, youth, until he was leading about 3 schools or so with, as the director over there. With 4 schools, right? Mm-hmm. With hundreds of students. And then the journey continued. When he finished with that project, then he moves on and comes to actually join the Light Development Center, where he got that inspiration, and he discovered his purpose. He now comes there and is now doing certain things now that we want to talk about, because they are very relevant to what is going on right now. So AJ, so what are you doing now?
Great question, Pastor Lad. Actually, just for the audience, I wanted to, tomorrow I'll elaborate more on my upbringing and some of the things that I've come from in the inner city.
When you say tomorrow, some people don't know what tomorrow is, so you better say it.
Thank you, Pastor Lad. So tomorrow at SPICEE, SPICEE is a show that we do every first Wednesday of the month, 7 p.m. It's a community-based show that's what I like to call it. It stands for saving people in communities through entertainment and empowerment and education. So we have our own community show.
So SPICEE, S is saving, P is people, I is, in, and then C is communities, E is empowerment and entertainment. So SPICEE, not spicy with a Y, but SPICEE with the E. So so we call it Spicy Night, and so it happens on the first Wednesday of every month. It used to be a live show where people come to, but this time around it's going to be a virtual show tomorrow that'll be streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so we'll be. Thanks, Pastor Lan. I really appreciate that. So this show, like Pastor Lan always does, I was at Living Lights, and Pastor Lan, one thing he does very well, and I always say he has a photographic memory. He remembers everything that everybody says while they're in Living Lights. I don't know. He's been around the world with this thing, but he remembers everything you put down in your portfolio. So when the idea came, I think they used to have a SPICEE at the City Light, but I think they wanted to bring it back up again. So he just, like, one day just called me out blue, and he does this a lot. And we're just like, AJ, next week we're starting. You remember this was part of your Living Light? Next week we are starting. But and that's how the whole thing started. And surely when we've had a lot of successes. God has been so good, because I have a background in entertainment. I used to have a small recording label in Chicago, and I worked with over 20 artists. So I know that, I went to Columbia College. That's where I have my undergrad in. So I kind of know a lot of entertainers, and I affiliated myself with the music business and everything. That was another business that I did for a little while, and then I had to move away from that for other reasons. But once I told Pastor Lan what that was about, he was like, you know what? We can kind of do something like that. He get people using entertainment, and I think, so what we do at SPICEE is we have great entertainers. We've had instrumentalists come through. We've had poets. We've had comedians. We've had some of the artists in Chicago have graced our stage already from Chicago, just to come in and show what they got. But that's not really just what the show is about. Like I said, it's an empowerment show. So each show, we have people from the community. I'd like to say there's no probably that I've ever come across. Because most shows, like maybe the Jay Leno's or the David Letterman or the Arsenio Hall shows, right? They have big artists coming in, and those are the people. This is a show about the community. So we bring in people from the community that are doing amazing things, like business owners, young business owners. We've had people coming in that's selling clothes, selling masks, selling all kinds of different things that, and that's been part of that community, part of our community. We just bring them in and we highlight what they do just to showcase all the amazing things that they're doing in the industry. And what that does is somebody else that's in the audience gets to see somebody like them running a business. I've had a 22-year-old from America that flies to Ghana to get the materials, and she's one of the most influential young women selling African clothes right here in Hyde Park. And she has our own store here. And the story goes on. We have Kendi from Kenya that's doing amazing designs, also an entrepreneur and a small business coach. So it's been just amazing people that we've been able to bless and come across. And every single show, Pastor, I never told you this. You know how I am. Every single show, I go in, I have a mindset.
We're breaking a bit. Hopefully we'll get him back. Sorry, network. Okay. So all right.
My plan is in my head, as always, right?
We'll be back.
And we always.
We will get him back in a moment. So.
Am I on?
Let me see. I can hear you, but I can't see you. So I can hear you, but I cannot see you. So I might want to come back on.
I think I'm still on.
Oh, can you guys see him?
Let me.
I know you can see him, but we cannot see you. We can only hear you. Those of you that are joining us, please let us know. Can you see him? Because I cannot see him. Can you just type it in the chat? Okay, so AJ will join us back, but we were just hearing the amazing, interesting story of AJ in his 40s. Okay, AJ is coming back. Yep. And just talking about his journey of purpose. So he's joining us in a moment. Yes, you're back.
Yes, sir, I'm back. Okay, so we've had so many people just come to the show just to, show us what they do and just enlighten the rest of the people in the audience. And we've been able to see so much progress. Just last year, like I was saying earlier, I believe that God has his hand on this show. And I honestly do believe that because I'm the executive producer of the show. And the people that have been able to grace that stage, while I was doing the show, it became apparent to me that we were building a family and that we were building something that's bigger than anything, a place where people can all come in, build together, learn from each other. And everybody has different skill sets, different businesses, different areas. And we get to support those people that are doing those kind of stuff. So we have a family of a bunch of people that just doing something together. And that's what kind of led us into the economic family 8432 project that we're working on right now, because
let's talk about so discovered your purpose. You've already known it, but Inglewood, you walked in there with the kids, you were supervising 4 schools with hundreds of kids, and then you move on from there, you start SPICEE, using them and also using that to inspire people. And there's a show coming up tomorrow at 7 Central Time, Chicago, that's going to be broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube at the Light Development Center page. And then from doing SPICEE, working with people, something began to, to burn in your heart. And that's what, we call the economic family. So tell us what this economic family thing is all about.
Okay, thank you, Pastor Lan, for that great info. I'm going to read something. I've had economic family as something I wanted to work on in my head, as always, for a while. But I was talking
about it in Leading Light, doing Leading Light by welfare system. You've been talking about it.
That was it. That was one thing. Thank you, Pastor, for remembering. You see, your memory is amazing because I make a lot of these formations and stuff like that, and sometimes people catch on.
So the middle of your picture is like you are moving to the side.
Okay.
So, just try. Yes.
That's
a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
Like this.
Yes, very good. I like proportion.
That's who you are. No matter what, I like that. So I will read Acts 4 verse 32. I'll start from there. It says, all the believers were one in heart and mind. No one claimed that any of their possessions were their own, but they shared everything they had. With great power, and the apostles continued to testify to the resurrection of the Lord Jesus Christ. And God's grace was so powerful at work in them all, that there were no needy persons amongst them. From time to time, those who owned land or houses sold them, brought the money from the sales, and put it in at the apostles' feet, and it was distributed to anyone who had need. So I've always had this thing that I always inside of me, and I felt like when people come in to a church, and Pastor, like you said, you used to say this a lot. You were like, the church is a hospital, because we used to look at the church as something. So, but you were able to make me understand something, because you said that they come to body. So I was like, you know what? It'd be nice. What in my mind, the idea of a church is a place. It comes from the Greek word, which it really means household management.
From the Greek word is what economics, from the Greek word that was translated stewardship. They translated stewardship. That's where economy comes from.
House management, and that's where you have, and all those kind of stuff. So I always wanted a family where, if there's a doctor in our in the economic family, or what we call the economic family, we all support the doctor. If there's somebody selling purses, we support. We do everything we can to make, and if somebody comes into the church with a need, we have to have the resources like they did. They sold everything they had. to me, that's what church is about. And I felt like a lot of people that were coming to church were not always been a place that kind of, it was easy to foster a thought like this in City Light because of the environment was already an environment of family. So when it came to me, Pastor Lan about it years ago, and all of a sudden, Pastor Lan came a few weeks ago and said, it's time to go. You know, so now what we're doing is we're trying to take this thing to another level. We're trying to come up with a system where
we're losing you a bit, AJ. We can see you, but we can't hear you. We can't hear you, but we can see you. Like your audio is gone. Maybe you go and come back again. All right, everybody. So we've been having a wonderful discussion with AJ. I'm really at this
and some of the things that we're looking to do based on what the economic family is about. So we're creating a beneficial and effective system to meet individual needs, reduce risk, and share helpful family resources, A's or B's. So I came up with shared
allitrations.
Alliteration. So shared vision, shared responsibility, and shared success. And I got together with my team, Brother David, Pastor Peace, and we were able to just to come up with what the shared vision was about. And it's something, and it states like this: we choose unity in shared heart, mind, action, and possessions. Shared responsibility, we choose and own and obey, Christ's command to love our neighbor as ourselves, true practical and collective sustained success. So everybody whatever everybody's doing, we're part of it.
So everybody there for everybody. All right.
Yes. Yeah. So that's what the economic family is really based on. We've been doing a lot of different things in the community now. Once we kind of launched it last month, we talked about it a little bit, and God just opened.
All right.
I don't know why
AJ, the phone looks like we lost you again.
I thought I put my phone on airplane mode.
Oh, okay. Somebody was trying to call you. You're back. Okay. All right.
I don't understand. I put it on airplane mode and it's breaking through already. I'm not understanding that. But I'm so sorry, the audience, for that little distraction.
No problem. Continue.
So we've been able to do a lot of things, and what we've been able to do this last week was last SPICEE show that we did. We had a young lady that during COVID, a lot of things was happening, and she just came up to me and she was like, AJ, I have this concept, this idea. What do you think we should do about it? We linked her up, and we were able to, through the Life Development Center, and we were able to donate some masks to people that were in need. Not just that, other doors opened up where we were able to grab so much food from so many different areas, people just donating things to us, and we're able to supply for families in need. So we've been able to follow up and take care of so many different things, and just the beginning of it. So currently we're working on a platform, the A432 Economic Plan Initiative. And this platform,
Acts 4:32 scripture that you read, A432.
That I read.
Yeah.
Yes. So this platform is going to be it's a web app platform that's, like we were saying earlier, and Pastor Lan can speak very well on this because you're part of the people on the team. We get a request in, we have the resources there, and we match it with whoever needs something. So this is really something that is innovative. It's a bartering system that we, of just a system where we can just, every single person that comes in, because not a lot of people want to say, hey, I need something, because they feel shy for some reason. Well, so we've created a system that they could just go in. If they meet those criteria that's listed on the web app, boom, we automatically go into the place of disbursement or trying to match them with the needs and everything of the community. So I feel like it's one of those systems that's really going to revolutionize and change how everybody thinks.
Yeah.
Because we're living in a world where, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say that, the church, where we are right now is really an opportunity for the church to be the church. And
Yes.
a lot of things have been said about the church. Some of them are not a consumer. That
Yes.
the church is those who are sick. He made that statement when he was having parties with the sinners, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and all that. So it's like, I have come so that I can help those who are really in trouble. So number one, you said something, the church is not a hotel. The church is really a hospital. Everybody is being built, it's being raised up, and it's a family. That's the second thing. The church is a family too. And so in families, there are people who have needs and all that. So this initiative is a way, just like it was in the Acts of the Apostle. How can the church, which is the people, how can they minister to one another? How can we exchange what we have? You have some skill, the other person needs it. You have some material, the other person needs it. So what you are trying to put together right now with the team at the LDC is a system that gets the need, gets the resources, and matches people and creates joy and excitement and meet needs as a result of that. That's what the economic family system is. I got it right.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, you got it very,
Good.
And our goal is to focus on both the spiritual empowerment as well as the economic empowerment of all members of the economic family by becoming problem solvers for the entire family. I see everybody in my church as part of the whole web. And I feel like if we, this platform, if we use this platform, that we are able to, and we're going to definitely be successful in it, principles and values that it doesn't even take into have an understanding that if you have, and somebody care of, and that's really what I feel like the family is about. And we support each other's businesses so that.
For sharing that. So now you've said a whole bunch of things. You've talked about SPICEE, you've talked about the economic family, and of course, we've talked about the Leading Lights training. Now, for those who are watching us on the different platforms, how can they play a part? Weeks. Yes. So,
well, to be
how can people be a part of this?
Well, that's a great question, Pastor Lane. Thanks for asking. So, first of all, to be part of it, you can, we have every first Wednesday of the month, 7 p.m. Tune in.
Center,
Facebook.com/the
Light Development Center. That's where it's going to be streaming at 7 p.m. Central tomorrow and every first Wednesday. Mm-hmm.
And if you have, and we're going to put all the
info at the Light Development Center.
At the Light Development Center.org. Info at what we're doing, or go to our website, theLifeDevelopmentCenter.com. So everything is on the Life Development Center. Whatever I'm doing, it's all on the LifeDevelopmentCenter.com. So when you just log just log in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's .org. Just log in and just make you send any if it's me, you put in AJ, and then they'll definitely reach out to me and give me the information.
Follow the Light Development Center or follow us also on Instagram. All right. So let me just talk about the Leading Light. So the story that you just heard right now is one of hundreds of stories of people who came in contact with the Leading Lights training organized by the Light Development Center. And their lives were transformed. They discovered their purpose, and then they start doing things that touch hundreds and thousands of people, just like AJ, he's just sharing his own story right now. The Leading Lights training is currently present. We have been to 12 nations, so we have a net. All those nations, there are people in there who are recruiting more people. We're doing something that we have never done before. It's actually the first of it. We are having a virtual open house for the Leading Lights training on May 23rd, on Saturday, May 23rd, at 9 a.m. So basically, what's the virtual open house? We want anybody from any nation, wherever you are, you want to have a taste of the Leading Lights training right there in your living room, wherever you are, for free. We want to give you just a little taste of it. It's an open house, and it's going to be done through a knowledge delivery system, through live teaching and all that. To get more information so that we can contact you, just go to this website right now, openhouse.theleadinglight.org. openhouse.theleadinglight for us on Facebook and other places too. We lost AJ. openhouse.theleadinglights.org. So, you know, they will post it on that Instagram and also on Facebook too, for those who are watching on Facebook too. openhouse.theleadinglights.org. So you'll see just a simple form with your name, your information, and then we'll get in touch with you on how you can be a part of this open house. So we're going to come in. It's a virtual training, teaching. It's just for you to know, to know what the Leading Light is about and see the transformation. There are many testimonials, and we're going to be coming again tomorrow at this time. We're going to be sharing with somebody else again who's been to the Leading Lights program. They're going to share their own story. And then on Friday, we're going to be having a panel from another nation. We had a panel from South Africa, Leading Lights, last on Friday. It was a powerful one. We're going to be having from another nation this Friday and just discussing it. But we have just a few more minutes to go. Yeah. So just we have about 3 minutes or so to go. So give us some last words.
Well, just please join us in this movement and the things that we have to do, knowing for a fact that we're a family and we're here together to be able to just move. We took this period as something that was negative. I actually took it as something very positive, because for the first time, you can really focus more on the family. Let's get ourselves out. Coming all the way from Nigeria.
I mean, I just see that.
I have a gift for every single viewer that watches tomorrow. I have from Pastor Reverend Atkins Kenny. She's donated to us some stuff, and you guys will find out tomorrow when you log in. We also have a doctor coming in, Shade Eziokoli, and she's a good friend of the family. She's part of the economic family. We have Julia Gam, the young lady that we worked with just this past weekend, to give out food to. I've watched grow up from about 16 years ago. We've been business partners. You can understand that thing was really impactful. And I'm pretty sure 18 and everything that's going. And to top it off, we get to hear a little.
Thank you so much for whatever platform. Please post something there, just for us to know how this broadcast, if you were touched, you were blessed by something that is said. And don't forget, you can reach out to AJ through the Life Development Center. The email. So yeah, you can reach out to him there. So, all right. So we're going to be signing off right now. Thank you for joining us for the Lights360 broadcast.
Yes.
We will see you guys
tomorrow
at 2 p.m. Central, 7 p.m.